Hey guys, so I just wanted to tell you how awesome the Lord is. So I'm going to try and not make this video extremely long. There is a lot of backstory, but the Lord has healed Lilly. And the journey and the process, it's been a journey, it's been a process. It wasn't a miracle. It wasn't an instantaneous healing. It was a healing which took time, and it was awesome. I just wanted to tell you guys about it. So Lilly has been going to the ENT for probably close to 2 years now, and every time we have gone, we always get bad news. Or even if it's not bad news, it's just not good news. It's not, oh, she's healthy, her ears look good, that sort of thing. It is always, literally, her ears are the smallest the doctor has ever seen. When she went to go get tubes in, they make a special kind of tubes in her ear. That is, they make special extra small tubes just for children with Down syndrome because they typically have smaller ear canals than that of their neurotypical peers. Well, when he went to go put in those size, the extra small size tubes, he had trouble and almost couldn't fit those inside of Lily's ear canals. That is how small Lily's ear canals were. And so they were really small. And so anytime she would have fluid, like have ear infections or like the weather change that would cause, a lot of fluid, the fluid would quickly fill up and not be able to quickly come out because of how small her ear canals were. So my prayer, Josh's prayer, the whole family's, my mom and like everybody's prayer that I have asked to help pray for Lilly has been that Lily's ear canals open up, that the Lord expand them to allow her not only to not have to have tubes, but allow the fluid to, come out of her ear properly and to help her hear properly. There's a lot of backstory about me needing Lilly to hear properly that I think may need to be saved for a different video, because otherwise this video will be extremely long. But so that has been our ongoing prayer for probably at least a strong, solid year. We would, constantly, me, my mom, would just lay our hands on Lily's ears and tell her ear canals to open up. It's just something that we would do as in, continual prayer and supplication, all that good stuff to get Lily's healing. Well, this last appointment that we went to, it was weird. First of all, I never scheduled this appointment, and not really sure why. Like, they scheduled this appointment for us but never told us about it. It wasn't until I went to a doctor at the same hospital but another clinic and they printed off all Lily's appointments that I even realized we had this appointment. So it was just really weird. They even, like, when we went back for the triage, they're like, okay, why are you here? Does she have an ear infection? And I'm like, we're just here for a checkup. And they're like, a checkup for what? Which, so it was just all kind of weird. Well, then we went back to the audiologist, I believe you call them, the ones that actually check your hearing. We went back to them. That's where they check the fluid to see if there's fluid in your ears, to see if the tubes are placed, and to check your hearing, to do the test. We went back there, and she just started looking really concerned, asked me how Lily's hearing was, when was the last time we had a hearing test, all this good stuff. And I just, I told her, I think we had a hearing test at this time, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, starting to ramble. I'm getting distracted by the birds in the tree. I like watching them. So she goes and gets her colleague and has her to help perform a hearing test on Lilly. And then her colleague goes away and she shuts the door. And she was like, she just looked, when you're a parent of a child that's spent a lot of time in the hospital or has gotten a lot of bad news, you learn that face. So she, as she was walking out, walking her colleague out. They were whispering. I just told the Lord inside my head, however you want to heal her, your will be done. That in and of itself was a miracle for myself, was a healing for myself, because normally when I see that face in doctors, I flip out. I start thinking of every worst possible thing that could happen, all that good stuff, or all that bad stuff. So she comes back and she just looks real concerned, and she says, I'm afraid that Lily has hearing loss. She's like, and not hearing loss because there's fluid in her ears, hearing loss from nerve damage. She was like, I'm looking back in her files. She's like, and I can't see where she's passed a single hearing test, which is untrue. Lily has passed hearing tests. Every time she's gotten her ears cleaned out and the fluid out, she has passed a hearing test, but somehow there was no paper trail of her passing a hearing test, which, might I say, irritated me as a parent a little bit, because how do you not have documentation when I sat in there in the test and saw it performed and saw the results? But again, not a part of the story. And I just said, okay. And she just kind of looked at me. She was like, do you understand what I'm saying? I said, yeah. Are you sure? Yes, I understand that you believe my daughter has hearing loss. I think my daughter just gets bored in the hearing test. She was like, that may be so. She's like, there may be a little boredom. She's like, but I specifically get the same results for this certain pitch, which, might I add you, the particular pitch that they were saying that Lily couldn't hear, like, at all because of nerve damage, is the same frequency of which normally freaks her out. Like, once you get into this really high pitch, like screaming, that sort of thing, even if it's not a person screaming, if it sounds like a screeching sound, it sounds like screaming, Lily does not like it. And so I was like, okay. And she was like, oh, there's a bee, which is weird because it is cold. Anyways, and so I was just like, okay. And she was like, are you sure? And I was just like, are you sure you understand? I was like, yes, ma'am, I understand. And she was like, okay, well, I want to do a sedated hearing test, because then we take Lily out of the equation and we'll know exactly what her hearing is. I said, okay. She's like, and the doctor may want to do more tubes in her ears. I said, okay. So went back over to the doctor. He just seemed so concerned when he walked in. He looked defeated, because time and time again, we have gone to him searching for answers on help for Lily's drainage. I mean, nose, ears. I mean, like, she just was struggling so hard with just drainage from everywhere in her face. And everything that they would have us do never really fully helped. And I think he could see that. And so he come in, he said, I can tell that her tubes are getting ready to come out. He said, these should have lasted a very long time. Side note, this doctor is the same doctor that said that not only would her tubes last a long time because of her ear canals being so long, that he did not think that he would be able to see into her ear canals, to see her eardrums without special equipment until she was a teenager, because he did not believe that her ear canals could grow and expand until that time, that they were just going to, we were going to have to use the special, she had to use very special equipment to see into her ears. So just wanted to throw that side note out there. But he said that the tubes were starting to come out. Well, normally when tubes start to come out is when the ears start to grow. That kind of lit a fire inside of me. And I was like, okay. He was like, so I want to go in. He said, because we're afraid of hearing loss, he said, I want to go in, put another set of tubes in there, and hope that these last long enough for her ears to actually expand and grow and start working the way they're supposed to. By the way, he is a great doctor. He's always very nice. I really enjoy him. But so I said, okay, let's schedule it. I was fine. I am not against doctors. I believe that sometimes God uses doctors to give us our healings. And so I am very much not against doctors. So I scheduled the surgery and I scheduled the sedated hearing test, which they were going to do together in one day. Then comes surgery day. Well, rewind a little bit. I go to Bible study on Tuesday night, and I went to my Bible study and had Pastor Teresa and everyone there at the church agree with me that Lily would be healed and that we would get good news at this surgery date on Monday. It was on a Monday. And so we stood in agreement, we held hands, we touched, and we agreed that Lily was healed. I felt peace. I did not worry. And so here comes Monday surgery day. Lily goes back. Again, I feel so much peace, which in and of itself is a healing for me, because every time Lily has ever gone back for surgery, I have been utterly terrified. I felt so much peace. And I started praying, reading my Bible and praying. And I said, Lord, I was like, before I get too much into, my Bible reading and my prayer, my just normal everyday prayer, not prayer for her surgery, I said, I'm just going to go ahead and thank you for the good news that you are going to bring to us today. And then I went about my reading and my normal everyday praying, and then me and Josh had some breakfast, that sort of thing. And then all of a sudden the doctor comes back way sooner than what he was supposed to. I mean, tubes don't really take that long, but it's a good, probably at least solid 45 minutes before a doctor comes back to talk to you, because they have to get the gas and the sedation and then IV if they put it in an IV, and then actually perform the surgery and then come back and talk to you. So that was a little weird. And he comes back and he says, the tubes have come out on their own. He said, they're not there. And he was like, and I did a syringe to check for fluid, because the test said that she had fluid on her ears, remember? He said, there was no fluid. None at all. He said, her ears are working exactly how they're supposed to. He said, and I did not feel that she needed more tubes. So I didn't do the surgery. And he said, I'm clear, she's good. I can't tell you how exciting that was. So the fact of that this doctor, might I remind you, just a little bit ago I said that he wouldn't be able to see into her ears until she was a teenager because of how small her ear canals were. Her ears expanded enough for not only for her tubes to come out, but that her ears started functioning the way that they were supposed to, releasing the fluid, and that they were working so good, he saw no reason to put more tubes in. I got up and danced after he left. And then a few minutes later, the audiologist comes out. Again, if that's not the right doctor, I'm sorry if that's not the right word, but I think that is. But anyways, they come back and she was like, well, we did the sedated hearing test, and they're like, everything looks good. Her hearing is fine. And then walked out of the room. So they had tests proving that not only Lily had super small ear canals, that fluid was building up. They were like, the way that they were talking, they were positive that Lily had hearing loss from nerve damage, not just from fluid buildup, nerve damage. But the Lord healed her. He healed her. And it took some time. It seemed that it happened as soon as I had ultimate and 100% faith, is when it seemed like she got her healing. But, well, anyways, so yeah, the Lord healed Lily. He healed her ears. And there's some other stuff that we're believing for healing in our family and with Lily. And when those healings come about, I will make a video and tell you guys, because The Lord is good, and He deserves the glory for this, because the doctors could not physically make her ear canals better, and the doctors could not make ear damage go away, nerve damage go away without using, you know. And so, yeah. So I hope you guys have a great day, and God bless.